Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Skool Morning Show. This is our daily show. We've been at this for about 3 weeks now. We talk about online community, specifically school, and we talk about every subject when it comes to online community stuff. I'm Eric. I'm here with Jenna. How are you this morning?
I'm alive and I'm here. That's
Well,
what
I mean,
matters, right?
that's you're halfway there.
Awesome.
Because I am
Perfect.
not. It's been a day. Like it's the full moon effect is in full right now. Like I'm feeling it. My kids are feeling it. They're acting like wild little animals, but I love them. But you know what else? It's today's Good Friday, and maybe it's a great Friday. Are you feeling the Good Friday? Or are you feeling the full moon?
Can I answer both?
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like it is a good Friday. There's lots of good things happening and I am excited for this weekend. But I also feel like the full moon probably like smacked me straight in the face, you know?
I know. I almost. We're gonna talk about like conspiracy theories that we believe in next week. I don't particularly believe in that. Uh, but there's the other side of me when I used to work at like the health store and the pharmacy. Like some of the older patients would definitely act crazier on full moon days. And since I've had kids, I have noticed that they are more wild on full moon days. So I'm kind of halfway there. I don't know if I believe in it, but I see the signs.
Yeah, I think that as soon as I had a kid and I was around more kids, that's when I was like, man, why are they acting up? And people would be like, the full moon. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then I started noticing the pattern and I was like, oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Someone explained it to me that like it is going to affect our bodies because you got to think about like how there's like the full moon tide. So if it affects even the ocean,
And we're like
then
mostly water.
yeah,
Yeah, so
like,
yeah, that I can. That's what kind of made me also kind of think maybe it's true because of
mhm.
that. I don't know. So this weekend is a holiday. It's Easter. Are you doing anything special?
I am. It's like we try to fit everything in all at once, so it gets a little
Hmm.
bit crazy. This we're probably gonna do like a brunch tomorrow with some family, and then it's supposed to we're in tornado season now, so
Hmm.
tomorrow it's gonna be like raining and lots of tornado warnings and
Oh, great!
watches and all
Perfect
that.
weather.
Perfect weather. It's like here, go find some eggs and a chance of like going to see or get your red heels on or something like that, you know,
That would
because you might
actually
blow
be
away.
kind of fun. If the eggs are just blowing all over the place, like that would make it a little more competitive.
Yeah, it's like here, try to catch one.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna do that on Saturday. We're gonna do it on Sunday, and because my son has a lot of like food allergies,
Hmm.
he really likes having his golden eggs, which have like little dollar bills in them and stuff.
Yeah.
And then something that I figured out is like a lot of the stuff that we're getting for Easter that he can have, like the candy and stuff, they don't fit in eggs unless I'm buying those huge
I
eggs.
know. Yeah, you got to get the giant ones. That's a
Yeah.
shame.
So what I'm doing is I'm creating a treasure map and I'm going to cut the treasure map up and I'm going to put it inside the eggs. And so then they have to piece the map together. And then we'll go find their like little Easter basket thing. That's what I'm planning.
That's a really cool idea. I might do something like that. Growing up, I did not celebrate any holiday really, which is kind of strange. That's not something my parents did. And now that I have my own kids, I have tried to do all that stuff because I don't know, I didn't really get to experience a lot of fun things when I was a kid, so I want them to. So we like dye eggs. Well, we did up until last year when eggs like doubled in price, so we may not we may not actually dye real eggs this time. And then we'll egg the yard and they'll Easter egg hunt, and it's a lot of fun doing all that stuff. So yeah, or it could just be it's just big candy. That's what they got us on Halloween and Christmas, and they just want us to buy all that candy. Unfortunately, it's all red, and I don't give my kids red stuff.
Yeah, me either. I just don't do food dyes.
Yeah, same.
Uh, he actually has reactions to it. The first time I noticed, he kind of like he didn't have a seizure, but he was like thrashing on the ground. So I'm like, when people are like, "Oh, you guys don't do food dyes," oh, okay, it's almost like they're mocking us, and I'm like,
Hmm.
no, my kid actually reacts really negatively to it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'm not going to do that.
And unfortunately,
Um,
my kids are in public school, so they always give them candy. So they're going to come
oh,
home loaded full of Red 40 today. So we're going to see how they act. I usually have a conversation with them before, and I'll
hmm
be like, you need to try really, really hard to regulate. And that's easier said than done because, I can barely regulate as a fully grown brain. So,
hmm I've actually something that's cool. This is like Yum Earth is the brand that I like when
oh,
it
I
comes
love
to
Yum
candy.
Earths. The suckers and the jelly beans are really good.
Yeah, what something that I've taught Dominic, which is my son, for everybody that's listening, I've taught him to tell people no. He goes, no. Does that have dye? And so what I do is I just keep a bunch of those suckers on me at all times when we're going places because like I've even gone into a restaurant during Halloween time and they try to
Hmm.
hand him candy and he has
Banks,
all these
banks do it too.
allergies.
Yep.
And I'm like, nope. And so he knows if he tells them no, that he gets one from me. So that's kind of how we've
Yeah.
done it. Is like if you're offered it and you tell them no, then I will reward you by giving you one. So,
Yeah, I may be
um,
I may be like in the 1% of this, but like please don't try to give my kid candy if you're a stranger.
yeah, yeah. Why do? That's a whole nother. We could go on another
Hey,
hill to
but you know
die
what?
on that.
But you know what? It's going to kind of lead into what we're talking about because we have a special guest who
Oh yeah.
talks about natural stuff too, and we're going to bring her up in just a second. I'm excited for you guys to meet her.
Now, I titled this a special title for today. And I know that we've talked about this before
Hmm.
because social media isn't really social anymore. It's
No.
kind of a hater. Like Facebook to me is one of the biggest haters.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really grateful that the person that is coming to speak with us today has agreed
Hmm.
to come because she has had an experience that I think is going to be really helpful for so many people to listen in on. Now, before we bring her up, I do want to say this is if we say stuff on here that is like not okay with social media, we will try to bring that up because I thought when I was thinking through this and I forgot to mention this to you. If we end up actually saying something, it's like, hey, don't say this, and then we get
Yeah.
flagged, we will let you guys know
Yeah.
that
We're
happened.
testing it right now. It's very well possible because we're going to be talking about maybe some words and phrases that will get you flagged. And so if we accidentally do that, I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Sorry, YouTube. And at the same time, I will update the post and let people know
Yep.
because I think that would be good to know.
Yep.
But our special guest today is Jennifer
Yep.
with the ladies of Mycology. You want to bring her up?
I will, but before I do, let me play my sound of the day. She talks about, whoa, mushrooms.
Nice.
Hello.
Welcome, Jen.
Oh, I got her muted. There you go. What do you think of that sound bite?
I loved it.
Let me pull up your page real quick just so everybody can see it. Oh, let me take that off too. So you have three communities. This first one's Ladies of Mycology, and that's the one that we're going to talk about today that had the problems with Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, 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 cool.
So, can you tell us a little bit about why you chose to have a community based on this first? Because I think it's really interesting because you were mentioning it can be sometimes the mushrooms that they say don't talk about, but then you're also talking about ones that you would normally see just on like any kind of health food store saying take this as a supplement or take this in your like coffee replacement, stuff like that. So, what got you into doing this and how have you navigated like working with social media?
Personally, I got into it oddly enough Canada Day, 2020. So everything was crazy, and it was the first time I had ever um, had any of those particular kinds of mushrooms.
Hmm
And it was such a weird experience. Everything was beautiful. Like the grass was pretty and the leaves were pretty, and I spent the day crying and had this big revelation that now mushrooms are my life. And it was just the strangest thing.
Did you say Canada
Uh,
Day? Is that what you said?
What's that? Canada
Did,
Day,
yeah,
yeah.
what is that? I'm from the US, so I have no idea.
Well,
Yeah.
it'd be like the same as like Independence Day
Mm.
sort of thing.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cool.
Um, and then I got curious about, how do you grow these things? And
Hmm.
in Canada, even though it wasn't strictly legal, British Columbia doesn't care ever. So
Nice.
they actually sold little kits online that you could get. So I got one and I tried to do it myself following their instructions. It didn't wasn't really working out very well. So of course I went online to try to figure out what am I doing? How does this work? Went through a pile of different groups. And for whatever reason, in the mycology world, a lot of groups are super toxic,
Interesting.
and
Hmm.
people are hateful. And, when new people are asking questions, a lot of people would come up and be rude because you weren't an expert already. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so I accidentally stumbled upon a ladies group, and it wasn't ladies in mycology yet. It was one called Boobies for Cubies.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it
great.
was it was fantastic, and it was all women supporting each other, helping each other. Um, so I learned a bunch there. I ended up moderating there for a little bit. So this Facebook thing happened twice because that group got hit. They got taken
Oh my
down
goodness.
over, I don't even know what it was over. It was over something stupid. I remember one of the hits we got for photos was a photo of a little tent, like a children's tent that was in the shape of a mushroom. Like it was a
Wow.
literal
That's
product. It wasn't
crazy.
actually a mushroom, and that was one of the things that got us flagged. Um, so then that group was gone, and I got out of it for a bit, and then I stumbled upon Ladies in Mycology. So I didn't start the group myself.
Hmm.
There was a couple of other ladies that started it. And then after a little bit, they had to go off and do their like in-person businesses. So they didn't have very much to do with it for the last while. But we had a very big team of mod and admins that made it what it was. And yeah, we were just getting everything ready to celebrate our 20,000 members when everything just went haywire.
So how did
Posts were
that
getting
start?
taken down. What's that?
How did it start when you were losing them?
Um, we started figuring out like every 3 months or so, it seemed like Meta did an update
Hmm.
to its AI. And whenever that happened, like every mushroom group and every mushroom person profile we knew started getting flagged and started getting taken down. Uh, and it also seemed like the bigger you got, the more likely it was you were going to get hit. But one day we were just flags, flags, flags. Like this post was taken down for community standards. This post was taken down. And we made sure to tell everybody, like, if there's nothing wrong with your post, make sure to appeal it. Because the
Hmm.
Hmm.
more that we appeal it, if it's just the AI learning, we have to teach it what's good and what's bad, right? Uh, so make sure you appeal it. And almost every post was restored.
Oh wow.
And
Wow.
the group itself, even, we appealed the group itself going down, and they said every admin got a notification. Oh, we're sorry, we took your group down by mistake. It was an error. It is now restored. So we were like, oh, good, right? Because this is a big deal if this whole thing goes down. But it never was actually restored. We got the notification that it was, but nobody could find us. Even if you sent somebody the direct link, it would just tell them that there's nothing there. It's an error, and it's just kind of hidden in the background.
Oh, that's crazy. So it was like it was restored where you guys could see it, but it was not restored where any member would be able to see it.
Right. Admins can get into it, but we couldn't edit anything. We couldn't like go through past posts and delete anything that rides the line, or yeah, we couldn't even change the pictures. Nothing. We can see it and that's it.
That's crazy. So it's like once you guys started getting flags, then you just started getting even more flags. And were you able, so when you were, because I know with Facebook, people have like lost their groups and stuff and they've tried to reach out to support, but there's not really a support, right?
Yeah,
So
there's no customer support at all.
when you when you had that experience of going through losing everything, did you already have people like maybe in the DMs, or did you create an email list, or how did that all go down when you lost them?
We didn't have an email list or anything because it was it wasn't a business at the time. It was just people volunteering their
Mm-hmm.
time to help each other and lift each other up, that sort of thing. And it never occurred to us to even do such a thing. Um, just so I was talking commenting on something. I think is in schoolers and was like, I don't even know how to reach out to these people. And somebody's like, well, you could message them. And I was like, oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right, I'm gonna do it. So I we did like because we can get into the back end and see who the members were, we started messaging them one by one
Oh wow.
Oh,
to
that's a lot of
see, you
work.
know, it is. We're down to we're 19,500 when we started and we're down to like 14,900 now
Oh
left.
wow. So you're still doing
Mm.
it?
Periodically,
Yeah.
When you have
Wow.
time.
it's a lot.
20,000 members, and so now you've made this new school one that you're trying to bring them over to.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've got 654 already. That's come back.
Yeah, we're getting there. And there's quite a few members actually that came in from school itself. It was really hard to get members. Like we had a backup group, but the backup group only had 1,600 members in it.
Hmm.
And we
Mm.
pushed for a good month or so to get people from there over to school. But it's such a change in habit, right? People are used to doom scrolling on Facebook. So to
Yeah.
get them to come over and learn a new platform, it's a lot of work to get them to actually be like, okay, and come to school on purpose to check out what's going on in the group. But the ones that have done it went back to our backup group on Facebook and was like, oh my God, this is so much better. Like you guys need to come over here now. Like it's
Right.
much better just for your mental health to be on school and going into your groups on purpose to see what's going on. And
Yeah.
One of the questions I want to ask you is like, why did you choose school?
it was a happy accident, honestly. When our group got taken down from Facebook,
Hmm.
that was going to be it. None of us wanted to rebuild it. Like we went through a grieving process because it was just a lot. Some people lost their profiles, some of the admins that were tied to their businesses. Um, some of the same ones got hit on YouTube for the same thing for some reason.
Hmm.
Um, and we didn't want to learn another platform. And
Right.
I I was on Facebook and there was this exercise ad that kept popping up.
Hmm.
And I was doing some of the exercises just that they were showing in the ad and it was helping. So I was like, okay, they had a sale for like $27, get this full program. I'm like, okay, why not? So I purchased the program and the program brought me to school. That's where their all of their classes are. And I was like, oh, what's this place? And like, this is really easy to use. Like, it's not
Hmm.
super complicated. And this is why we didn't want to rebuild on another platform even before we got taken down. Because we were thinking of things like Discord. And while it's very highly customizable, you almost need to be a programmer to set
Mm,
it up
yes. Yeah, you
the
do.
way you want.
Right.
Like it's very in depth. And yeah, no, even though like I went to school for programming, there's no way I'm doing that. I don't want to.
School kind of
Um,
reminds me of Facebook before it got sucky.
at the beginning, yeah. So it's like really easy. So I set up a hobby plan just to kind of poke around and see what the back end looked like.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like, okay, there's really not much back here. You have your basic, kick people out, let them in, delete their posts. There's not a whole lot going on in the back end. So I went to our admin chat and was like, hey, I found this place and it's really simple. It doesn't take a lot of brain power to figure out how it works. You don't have to spend months trying to figure out this new platform. It's simple to use. Does anybody want to come check it out with me that maybe we'll rebuild LOM on there? And most were still in their grieving period and weren't having it. A couple decided to come and check it out.
Hmm.
And we were like, okay, what do you think? And the ones that came over agreed that it's a good spot and it has everything we need. It's not over bloated with a bunch of stuff that we don't need.
Hmm.
And yeah, we really like the layout because we had on uh, Facebook, we made use of the guides quite heavily
Yeah,
to
that
put
makes sense.
information so the ladies, because not everybody's comfortable asking questions, but a
Hmm.
lot of people have questions. So I made sure that everything piece of information I found, I threw in the guides. So when I came over and saw the classroom and the way that was set up, I was like, ooh, I like this. I can basically bring, copy paste most of the guides right into this with a little editing and we're good to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know there's also there's a lot of freedom when it comes to being on Skool, is because like in your own school, you're not going to get flagged for saying anything, you know? Like the only thing that you would get reported on is like if members are reporting or if other admins are reporting. School kind of has that, as long as it's legal, you can do whatever you want, you know?
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think that's also pretty cool because now you can create this, and I know you have your people that are still grieving, but you can create it without being worried, you know,
Yeah.
that it would all go away.
Yeah. I made sure to ask too.
Mhm.
Like we talk about some mushrooms that the legality is questionable depending on where you live. Um, and like, is that okay? Can we post pictures? And because that was a big thing, people like to show off what they were growing, regardless of what kind of mushroom it is.
Mhm.
Um, and you couldn't do that on Facebook. That was what would get you flagged right off the bat. So I had to make sure, like, okay, we're gonna be discussing mushrooms of all kinds. Is that going to be a problem? Is that okay? And the answer we got back is like, you're not the only ones talking about it. It's fine as long as you're not trying to sell them through school. And we're like, oh no, we have a our own personal strict rule about that. Like we'll teach you how to grow things, but you're not allowed to sell things. So we got that answer back. We're super excited and so were a lot of members. They're like, oh, okay, we can actually just speak freely and stop having to code our words and be all cryptic just to have a conversation about our health, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the funny part because like we have to be somewhat, well, as we're doing this live on YouTube, we have to be careful about what we're saying.
Yeah.
Which brings me up to another question I had is like, how do you plan to do your marketing when it is a subject that might be flagged? So, like, even though we're talking about it now, there might be some other things that you might want to go out there and like explain, or whether are you going to do like meta ads, or are you just planning to do organic? How's all that going to go?
We're gonna try to make sure to curate it for whatever platform we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
do things on. Um, because we talk about growing mushrooms for mental health and physical health. And a lot of times when we talk about mental health, we're talking about a specific uh, genus or brand of mushrooms or different
Mm-hmm.
certain kinds. And we're talking about physical health, we're talking about some of the other ones. They do overlap though, but we're gonna make sure to word it and only talk about those particular mental health ones on platforms that allow it. So we're starting to do our TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
So we're really pushing cordyceps because cordyceps are really good for you. Lion's mane is one that's also good for your mental health because it's good for your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to be promoting more of the mainstream ones or the gourmet ones, we call them, or functional mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And with just a small something that lets people know that you can also talk about those other ones here if you want to. But it'll mostly be the functional and gourmet ones that we push out in those communities to make sure that we're not going to get flagged.
Right. So I think one of the things I was thinking through is if you is it okay for you to be if you're looking at mushrooms for the mental side of everything, you could use lion's mane, cordyceps, or more. Are you allowed to put the or more part to like kind of indicate that it might be something else, or do you find that that might also get you flagged?
No, that should be okay. The thing that gets people flagged more often than not are pictures, to be honest.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
like I was just speaking to another lady, she teaches people in Uganda how to grow mushrooms and it's oyster mushrooms and her
Hmm.
TikTok got taken down. So like
What?
it's the AI is doing it most and the AI doesn't know what it's doing yet, right?
That's crazy. And I the part that's crazy to me is because mushrooms have been a very I don't know, almost like a trend because you see mushroom themed stuff when you go to TJ Maxx. You see
Yeah.
all these
Mushroom
like different
coffee.
mushroom coffee. The tent that you were talking about, I
Yeah.
I almost bought that tent because I know exactly which one you're mentioning. And
Yeah.
so if those were already produced as like ads for us, I don't it's crazy that they're getting flagged for that. I mean, I
I
don't
can't
know.
figure out what the common denominator is because if you look on YouTube, there
Mhm.
are some very big names and like in my community, names that I know very well. Um, and they talk about it. That's what their podcasts are about, those specific kinds, right? And there's people that are teaching you how to grow them in their YouTube videos and showing videos and pictures of them. So I can't figure out what's getting people flagged and what's not. Like, why is it okay here and it's not okay here? And then you'll see Facebook ads for them, and you're like, really?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
thinking
yeah,
about because I've even like when Dominic was little, I mean, even their teethers, they had mushroom teethers, right?
yeah.
And I'm thinking if they're advertised everywhere and they're so popular, how is it like I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things where they um they are spending money if it's ads and so they're like, well, maybe the ad campaigns, I don't know. What are your thoughts on if you were to try to run ads, do you think you would be able to do it or do you think you'd get flagged?
I think if we're running it for like cordyceps or lion's manes or something, it would be fine, especially if it's spending its time looking at pictures, because those
Mhm.
two particular kinds, you can't mistake them for anything else. Like a lion's mane, it looks like a big puffball with teeth, and then the cordyceps are these long, skinny, orange yellow things.
Mhm.
So we just be careful with the pictures that we use and which particular mushrooms that we're putting in the advertisements.
That makes sense. And then there's also the foraging communities too because like I did foraging for a bit. In fact, Eric, I'm going to send you some pictures if you want to share them.
Okay.
I'll send them via School.
Okay.
um but I went just like you were saying, the lady in Uganda that was doing oyster mushrooms. Well, those are made for if you're trying to do be like go more of like a vegan or vegetarian, are those used often for like chicken strips or like the
Uh,
substitute chicken strips or something like that?
yeah, they can be. Chicken of the woods is another good one that can be
Yeah, see,
used.
these are
Yeah.
some that I went foraging for.
Oh,
It was
nice.
fun. Um, yeah. So here's the photos of us going foraging, and it was really fun. We did make our own chicken strips. So I was just like,
Oh, right on.
That looks
I
really
wonder
good.
if they were good. I wonder if it's like if you go more of like a recipe route almost on a like TikTok or something like that, you know? And you
Yeah.
say, well, you can also grow them so you don't have to depend on foraging them, you know?
Yeah.
I was just reading up on some of the rules, and I found that you have to be careful about ingesting, like saying talking about ingesting, and like maybe lean more into identification. But I don't know. It's really really hard because these groups or these rules will get you for the littlest things. I know, like when I did TikTok Shop, which is a little bit different than Facebook, and I'd affiliated for some different mushroom stuff, and like you could say certain words, like you could talk about lowering cortisol, but you couldn't say like it cures anything. That would get you
Yeah.
absolutely banned, like after a post. And it's just you got to be so careful with stuff like this, and it's really annoying because like free speech.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think Zuckerberg, I think he's just tired of sitting in the courtroom for complete nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I
that.
don't think he cares either way. He doesn't care what we show, what we grow, what our groups are about, but he's tired of sitting in that chair over nonsense. So he's like, ban it all.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So you had this ladies of oncology group, and then you're like, well, maybe the men want to get in. So then you started this one, right? You want to talk a little bit about this one?
We actually had a lot of men on Facebook that heard about the group and they're like, I hear that this is such a fantastic group because I was talking earlier about how a lot of the ones out there are very hateful and toxic, right? And we don't suffer fools in our group. Like you start getting a little bit too much and you can leave. Like you have to be nice and you have to be helpful. So there's a lot of men and friends of ours or significant others, and they're like, but I want to be in there too. And we're like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Um, and we just did not have the brain power to do another to do a co-ed group on Facebook. It was going to
Yeah.
be a lot of work and we just didn't have it in us. But on Skool, the way things are structured, it's a little bit different. And because these are paid communities, it makes it a little bit more worth it because, we're making money from the community. Well, then we can start paying our volunteers. So it's not so much of volunteering all your time for free. So it
Hmm.
makes it a little bit, if this group gets big enough and we have a paid team, then you're not worried about, spending so much time volunteering in multiple groups.
Yeah.
Makes it a little bit worth it.
For sure. Yeah. Let me pull up this comment for Matthew Burns. They like to say shiitake happens.
Right?
That's so funny. And let me pull up this other comment here. One second. I like it when people comment. From Christine. Way to go, Jennifer.
So, one of my partners in crime, it's her picture that's on the about page.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's her in her mushroom hat.
Hold on, I got one more comment that I want to pull up from Faith. Um, hold up. They lower cortisol. I think some do.
Some do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right off the top of my head, it's not one of the things that stays in my brain. Neither do the Latin names. I
Yeah.
can't. But one of our other admins, she is the science person. Like she can rip through these. these scientific studies and documentation and translate it into regular people speak for us. Um, and she does these experiments. It's completely mind-boggling, the stuff that she does for us. Um, because like Chris and I, we grow mushrooms and we teach people to grow mushrooms, but we haven't gotten into like the microscope end of things or anything like that. But some of the other ladies that rate into microbiology, and they can tell you from looking at a spore under a microscope what kind of mushroom it is. Like the smarts in our group is quite impressive.
That's really cool. How many people are like on the team right now?
We have altogether 11-ish.
Oh
We
wow.
have three main admins and then a bunch of mods, some from before on Facebook and some that are new.
That's awesome. So is that still your like your main traffic source is getting just people over from Facebook, or you said you're getting some people from school, right?
Yeah, we're getting a handful from school every now and again. Um, Facebook has been our main source so far, just because we're trying to learn how to do the other things. Like I've boycotted every social media that's popped up
Right,
because I'm like, oh no,
right,
not another one. I was
right.
on Facebook and that's it. So now here I'm fumbling through TikTok, and I called not it on TikTok. I told Chris, I'm like, TikTok and Instagram is all you. I'll do YouTube. So we're
Well,
just trying to navigate like how they even work on a technical level, and then try to figure out how to put content on it. So that's our goals
yeah,
going forward.
yeah. And then you have the added struggle of not getting banned.
So like we're gonna watch what we're talking about. But again, like there's all these, I think as long as you're not with YouTube, I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to dig more into it. Like on Facebook, I was the nag of the admin group.
Yeah.
So, somebody would post something up, even if it was another admin, I'm like, I don't think you should post that. I think you should take it down or change it. I don't think we should allow this because, like, I was reading the terms and the community standards to see like exact wording. What does it say? So that we could ride the line.
Yeah.
So if
And
we
then
went
we'll
a little
change
bit
it.
over the line, I'd be like, yeah, no, I don't think we should allow that.
Yeah.
And the one post that went over the line, I happened to have made in the guides because I was copying, and that's the one that got taken down and they wouldn't
Oh,
restore. So I was like,
oh
oh
no.
no, oh, was it me? Um, but yeah, the everything else, as long as I think, as long as there is an appeal process and you make sure your content is on the right side of that line, even if it's like sniffing it, you can appeal and be like, I did not break the rule. But as soon as you cross that line, you don't really have a leg to stand on.
Hmm. That's true.
I see. Like one of the things that I was thinking through when you were talking about how you're going to be going live now. Are you going live on YouTube, or where are you going live?
Uh, for now, we're doing the live in the main Ladies of Mycology group.
Okay.
And so I think the way we're going to do it is we'll go like regular live in the Ladies of Mycology group, and then we're faceless everywhere else.
Okay.
Gotcha. And then because like when I was thinking through this, I was thinking live, there's a lot of times where I might just bluntly say something, right?
Yeah.
And and so that's where I would probably have the hardest time is like thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna go talk about this, and I know I looked into the guidelines, kind of like you're talking about how you've done, and then I would be like, man, something's gonna mess with me because I will end up saying the someone will ask a question and I'll just blurt it out and answer.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that's some one area that I would be like, maybe just like the way that you're saying you're doing it is going live inside your group. But if you took that and then you like took clips of it
Hmm.
and then we're able to repost it, then people know that you go live. So if they really do want to come chat with you live, then they can, but it just needs to be inside the community.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
my guess is your audience is already going to know that's part of the deal.
Yeah.
That's awesome you're doing a podcast too, because that's like school and podcasts are like the two places where you can basically just say whatever you want. Because like with an RSS feed, I mean, they can kick you off YouTube, but if you have your own RSS feed, like your own podcast, like there's nothing they can do about it. Like you can do whatever you want. So that's really cool that you just started your podcast. How did that go, by the way?
It wasn't too bad. We started it because I think we were watching another mushroom podcast, and
Okay.
it was, just some guy talking to some other guy, and we're like, we go on School all the time. Like we have an admin moderators only classroom that we
Mhm.
set to like $3,000.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to buy it. And that's what we use if we just want the admin team to chat. So Chris and I do that all the time. We just turn on live so that we can just chit chat and talk to each other while we're working and stuff. And it's like, well, this isn't much different than that podcast we watched the
No,
other day.
no.
Why don't we start recording it?
That's what how me and Jenna went about with ours. It's like we're already having these conversations. Let's hit record.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, we could be maximizing our time, you know? Like, people would probably want to hear this stuff anyways. So that's what we ended up doing. And I think the cool thing is, like, as you start doing the podcast, if you have prompts or even like going through your community, you can find different topics that people are going to want to talk
Hmm.
about that you guys could just bring up and discuss, you know?
Yep.
Yeah,
One of the
exactly. And
things
we've got, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, one of the things I really appreciate is like how you said you wanted to create a space for people to feel comfortable to talk and ask questions because like people might not feel comfortable just even asking the question, but
Mhm.
then probably maybe even because they may have been in a different group and they were treated poorly, right?
Exactly.
And so this goes back to my hill to die on is like let people lurk if they want to
Yes.
because
Yeah.
uh there's there's so many reasons why they might be doing it that way, but yeah, and not feeling you never want to feel stupid asking a question when you're genuinely trying to understand something. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I think that's really great that you're you lost the 20K members, you dealt with the Facebook group, but then you still were like you still believed no, people still need a space for this. So, I
One
just
of the
really admire you doing that.
Thank you. One of the things that sold us on it was actually speaking to women that we had, they were in the group, they never posted. Um, we didn't know their names because we never talked to them. But they were in the backup group and they're like, you know what? If it wasn't for ladies in mycology, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Wow.
Like the stories, like the heartwarming stories, some of them are like, I started doing this and it changed my life and it gave me the confidence to get out of a toxic relationship. I started growing these and it taught me to be patient. And now I have more patience with my kids. Like I'm starting my own uh, project within the mushroom community, or I started a mushroom farm and now I have my own business and I can take care of my family. So we heard all stories like this, and then you know, sometimes we get a little emotional. So hits you right in the feels and you're like, okay, we can't let this die like this. So it's like, okay, well, let's get her going again because clearly there's a need for it and it's helped a lot more people than we thought, and a lot of those people were lurkers, so we would never kick people out for just hanging around and not saying anything.
Man, that's so awesome. That's what community's all about.
It really is. In fact, I think that you will agree with me. Um, Eric, I sent you another picture.
Okay.
This is like my facial expression whenever I see someone bring up like removing a level 1 or removing a lurker. And I feel like we're pretty similar. So I think you got to tell me, is this how you, if you would feel like if we were looking at TikToks and they bring it, they're like, excuse me, just
Excuse
stare
you?
into your
Yeah.
soul.
That's funny.
Like, yeah. That's one of my favorite things about TikTok is that they added the photo feature for you to react now.
Oh, I love it.
So,
So,
well, is there anything else that you would like to share when it comes to ladies of mycology? Who, like, what would you want people to know about the community?
um, for the our main ladies of mycology group, um, it it really is a safe space for women.
Mm-hmm.
So, and mushrooms are good for so many things. Like we just posted a study on how scientists were taking the compounds of those mushrooms and hooking it up to a rabies virus that we know attacks the brain to see exactly where it goes in the brain to see how it works. Um, we have medical studies on how it's good for menopause. It's good for sleep, how it can help with all of these different issues that happen all through a woman's life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's stuff you wouldn't even think of. And you can just take a lion's mane, cut it up, and make it into a steak. So when people see mushrooms or grow mushrooms, they usually automatically think of just a couple of things, but it's such a big world. You will learn so much. And if you don't fit into the ladies category, that's why we created co-ed. Um, So it's a lot of the same information in co-ed. We've transferred over the classrooms. It's going to be some of the same moderators from Ladies in Mycology are also going to be moderating co-ed. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. Like you first go in and you're like, I'd like to learn how to grow this kind of mushroom, and you'll get the help you need to do that. But it ends up being so much more after you're in there for a bit. So I
That's
guess,
awesome.
yeah,
And I would think that it's probably you probably have like a good amount of testimonials because I saw on your about page you have proof worth there too. Is that
yeah,
where people could go read and understand a little bit more about what it would be like to be in there?
yeah, for sure. We've got, I think we're 13, 14 reviews on Proofworth now.
That's awesome.
From the ladies of mycology. We haven't set one up for co-ed yet. Um, that's coming soon. But yeah, for sure, you can get firsthand, yeah, testimonials from some of the ladies that have been in since the Facebook days and some that are a little bit newer to the community.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
All
There's a
right.
lion's mane there. That's the
Yeah,
little baby one I grew.
that's cute.
They're actually really cute looking.
And
I
they're
like it.
tasty. They are so tasty.
Sounds good. And you said you cook them like a steak?
Yeah, well, I put them I know I've seen people like if they've got the bigger ones, slice
Mm-hmm.
them and season them and do a steak with them. I cut mine up and I fry them in garlic butter.
Ooh,
Mm,
That's good
nice.
stuff.
That sounds
might have to
really
try
good.
that myself.
Mhm.
He's like, you're gonna need to join the co-ed one, and I'll need to join the ladies in mycology, and we'll
Yeah.
just start growing mushrooms.
Yep.
There you go. We'll put up the recipes and
Yeah,
That's awesome. This has been
perfect.
fun.
Yeah, thank you for
awesome.
being joining us and like talking about your experience. I think it's a long process to go through and message every single person, but I'm glad that you're doing that so that at least they have a chance to come back and find a place where they can talk and just feel like they're being heard or they're able to ask a question without all that other negativity. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
for
stronger than
sure.
me. That would have crushed me. I probably would have gave up. So the fact that y'all did
It
that, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
it pretty much did. It was just a happy accident that I found school and how easy it was to navigate, and a couple of messages from people to say like how ladies in mycology changed their life, and hits you right in the feels. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
lit the fire again.
Yeah, it's like I guess I have to do this now.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, for the people. But all right, well, I think that's it for today. I didn't have any breaking news, other than the fact that we all can agree Facebook is the biggest hater, um, and Zuckerberg. Oh man, that face. Yeah. So we will be back next week. Do you have any fun plans before we go? Are you doing anything fun for Easter?
Uh, Not a whole lot. I think I'm going to be piecemealing out our first podcast to see what kind of shorts I can make out of it.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Very fun. Oh, by the
Right.
way, if you haven't heard of this yet, I know we've talked about it. vidIQ. So when I
Yes, I
upgraded
actually
to
got that
awesome,
the
when
other
I
day when you
upgraded,
were talking about it. I was like, oh, what's this? Yeah.
yeah, I upgraded to their boost plan. And when you're
Hmm.
inside, so not just using the extension, but if you go to vidIQ and sign in,
Okay.
they have a their own version of a shorts clipper, and
Okay.
it's really easy to use to edit and stuff. It was really cool getting to see how that worked. So that might save you some time. You might have another idea of doing it, but
Awesome.
just wanted to give you the heads up that I found that and I'm experimenting with it. Once I figured it out, I'll try to do a video on it, but yeah, it's pretty
Right
cool.
on. Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you for your help, both of you, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys. We're probably going to put the schedule out on Sunday for next week. And now that we're going to try to aim for 9:30 Central Time, we'll probably also have it in the calendar for everybody. But thank you guys for joining us, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.